Stadion Kranjčevićevoj ulici, known as Stadion Concordije between 1921 and 1945, is a multi-purpose stadium located in the Trešnjevka neighborhood in Zagreb, Croatia. It is mainly used for football matches and is the home ground of Prva HNL side NK Zagreb. The stadium can hold 10,850 people, which makes it the second biggest stadium in Zagreb, behind Stadion Maksimir. History. The stadium at what was then called Trešnjevka began construction in 1910s and was completed in 1921. At the time of its completion it was the biggest stadium in Zagreb and was owned by Concordije, one of the three prominent Zagreb-based football clubs in the interwar period. In 1931 the first floodlit match held in Zagreb was played at the stadium, in which Zagreb.The beat Real Madrid 2-1, with 2 goals from Ico Hitrek and a consolation goal for Madrid scored by Eugenio. After World War II, Concordije was disbanded for political reasons and the stadium was handed over to the newly formed Fiskalno Društvo Zagreb, whose football section later evolved into today's NK Zagreb Football Club. NK Zagreb's third jersey is green in honor of Concordije, whose old stadium is now their own. In November 1977 a large fire destroyed the west stand, and in the following years the stadium went through several reconstructions and modifications. The most significant of these was an extensive overhaul and the construction of the adjoining facilities in preparation for the 1987 summer Universiade. Later that year a lightning strike destroyed the floodlights during a match between NK Zagreb and NK Osijek, and the stadium was without any floodlight capabilities for 20 years, until 2008 when the new ones were reinstalled by the city of Zagreb. Croatian War of Independence. At the onset of the Croatian War of Independence, one of the most significant date in the history of the stadium is the first public lineup of the Croatian National Guard, formed in April that year, consisting of members of the police and part of the Croatian army on the 28th of May 1991. Which was the first Croatia's professional military unit and which later evolved into the Croatian Ground Army. That marked the beginning of the creation of the Croatian Armed Forces. A commemorative plaque honoring the event can be seen at the stadium entrance. Structure. Today's shape and form of venue in Kranjčevićeva Street is due to another unfortunate event in its history. On the 29th of November 1977 a fire destroyed large sections of the old wooden western stand of the stadium in Kranjčevićeva. Since that time, the stadium in Kranjčevićeva experienced several modifications and reconstructions in the following years. Most of infrastructure was built in the preparation of the Universiade in Zagreb, the World's Student Games held in 1987, such as extensive overhaul and the construction of the adjoining facilities. Later that same year a lightning strike wrecked the floodlights and the stadium was without any floodlight capabilities for 20 years, when new ones were installed by the city of Zagreb. The stadium consists of 2 stands. The west stand is fully seated and can hold 3,850 spectators. It houses the press box and the VIP area. The east stand has 5,000 standing places and is mainly used for traveling fans. The stadium also has a cycling track around the pitch which is used for track cycling events. Furthermore, the stadium has a wheelchair area. In June 2008, UEFA inspection in charge of licensing have visited the stadium and gave minor praise for the stadium in the city centre. Among the major cons pointed out by the UEFA inspection were lack of floodlights and poor working conditions for journalists. Even though Kranjčevićeva failed to impress the UEFA delegation due to lack of floodlights, floodlights and press box provisions, it managed to receive a 3-star rating out of 5, which ranks it among the better stadiums in Croatia. After infrastructure renovations which were held by the city of Zagreb through June, July and August 2008, floodlights were finally reinstalled and fully prepared 3 days before the 5th round and match NK Zagreb-NK Zagreb play. On the 24th of August 2008, Zagreb eventually won its first match under the floodlights at Kranjčevićeva since 1987, when they were struck by lightning during a match between NK Zagreb and the same opponent NK Zagreb 2-1, thanks to goals from Mario Kutura and Davor Vugranek in the last minute in front of 2,500 supporters. Since then, thanks to newly placed floodlights at venue in Kranjčevićeva Street, stadium is capable of playing the daylight and night matches. Average attendances. The average season attendances from league matches held at the Stadion Kranjčevićevoj for NK Zagreb international matches. The first international match at the stadium was held in June 1922, a friendly between Kingdom of Yugoslavia and Czechoslovakia. The Yugoslavia team consisted almost entirely of players called up from Zagreb clubs, and Yugoslavia went on to win the game 4-3, with some 6,000 people in attendance. Between 1922 and 1940, the stadium hosted a total of 11 Kingdom of Yugoslavia matches, most of them friendlies. During World War II, the fascist puppet state, independent state of Croatia, formed a national team which used the stadium for 6 games, all of them friendlies played with other Axis powers puppet states. In 1947, Kranjčevićeva hosted the single international game in the SFR Yugoslavia period, a 2-1 Balkan Cup win against Bulgaria, with both Yugoslavia's goals scored by Privoslav Mihailovic. Following Croatia's independence in 1991, the Croatian national football team played at Kranjčevićeva only once, in a 1996 friendly against South Korea, which Croatia won 3-0 through hat-trick from Goran Vlahovic.